Up to you. Do we want to listen to Devin Vassell? We're definitely going to listen to Mitch Johnson. Like, that's a gimme. And I want to listen to Jeremy Sochan because it feel like it's been a while. Yeah, do we want to hear Devin's? I mean, it's only 3 minutes long, but I'll leave it up to you. Sure? All right, we'll start with Mitch and then Jeremy. No, actually, we'll start with Mitch. We'll talk about today's sponsor. Shout out to BetUS, mind you. And then we'll talk about Sochan and then Devin Vassell or KJ. Did Keldon? I don't think Keldon did one. Maybe it's just not uploaded yet. It's fine. There's nothing we can really get from it. Keldon did a good job. He played hard. He always plays hard. And every now and then he has games where he gets hot. And this was one of those games. And he was going at them. He did look a little bit more, what's the word? Loose offensively. You know, you actually saw where that weight that he lost came into play. He seemed a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Slippery? Give Keldon his flowers. He had a good game. Of course I'll give him his flowers. He had a good game. All right, Mitch Johnson looked angry. At least from this, he looks angry. All right, let's listen.
You see from the defensively, from the perimeter, what went wrong there? Right?
A little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything is what went wrong. Is Zach overpaid? Okay. This is what we'll do. After we look at these post games, we'll look at contracts around the NBA, and then we can make the decision. Right now, he's playing slightly under his contract, in my opinion, but we'll look at other people making the same amount.
Transition was bad. Had some situations even off makes where we didn't get back. They got buckets right after makes. Weren't connected. Didn't show shifts where we were supposed to. The amount of right-handed layups, kind of straight line drives, was pretty alarming. Lack of communication on some screens. It was pick your poison. It was pretty poor tonight.
Dang, it's just. Does he want to do this live stream? I mean, literally. I mean, that's our whole segment right there, right? God, we were just trash. He could have just said we were just trash, and I think we all would have understood.
Is there any common thread you're seeing between these sort of slow starts the team's getting off to? Even in some of the wins, they've been kind of slow getting into it.
Yes, please talk about that. Dude, every single game, it feels like we start off slow, and then we just wait for adjustments. Are they not prepared? What is that?
Lethargic, maybe, would be the word. I don't know if there's a common thread, but definitely feel a little bit of lack of energy, and then we get going a little bit and get back into it, and it's tough to play out of a hole in this league.
What was the thought process in starting Jeremy at center?
I just want to know why. Why is there a lack of energy? Does that just come with age? Is that what it is? Lack of urgency, man. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I mean, you know how important it is to go into the third quarter swinging. We fixed that problem. But then as soon as you fix that problem, now we have a problem with the first quarter? I don't know.
Wanted to see what it looked like, to be honest. You know, we've done it a little bit in the past. Thought this was an opportunity where we knew we were going to play a good amount of guys, and we knew we were going to still play Zach and Charles. And
Real Hearns, I'm gonna be honest with you. As soon as we say that, it's already over. Hearns says if Wemby was in there, I don't think that would be an issue. Would have been an issue. What the effort in the first quarter? We already lost because that we should not have to rely. We should not have to rely on Wemby for the energy going into these games. So that's no. As great as Tim Duncan was, exactly. Yeah, dude. Yeah, because as great as Tim Duncan was, if he didn't play, it was still the same amount of energy. If Manu, Tony, Tim, and Diao and 50 other players sat it was still a lot of energy. So no. They're gonna have to fix that.
Jeremy had some really good stretches with most of that group when he was starting with Chris and Harrison and those guys. So that was a little bit of the mindset.
Just first impression from the bench. I know you probably don't look at it, the tape more, but how did it look?
It is tough right now to give you an opinion on schematics because it felt like a lot more or less than that. I don't know which would be the proper way to say it, but it was not a schematic issue.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me hear that part again. I'm sorry.
Jeremy had some really, we wanted to see what it looked like, to be honest. You know, we've done it a little bit in the past. Thought this was an opportunity where we knew we were going to play a good amount of guys, and we knew we were going to still play Zach and Charles. And Jeremy had some really good stretches with most of that group when he was starting with Chris and Harrison and those guys. So that was a little bit of the mindset.
Just first impression from the bench. I know you probably don't look at
Sochan, and that's another thing that really bothers me when anyone says Sochan is the reason for our loss. Sochan fit. You can say Sochan doesn't fit with Wemby. You're wrong. I just think you're wrong. He's fit with every lineup we've had out there. Very similar to Steph Castle, mind you. Steph Castle's the same way. No matter what lineup he's out there with, he still does a fine job because his role and what he's good at just basically fits with any roster. You know, that there's no, I mean, unless maybe there's two Jeremy Sochans on the court at the same time, maybe that might be a little iffy, but like, I don't know what the problem would be. I mean, high basketball IQ on the offensive and defensive end, makes ideal cuts, always in the right place at the right time, hustles on the boards. I mean, this is the type of player that doesn't really matter what lineup or what lineup they're in, they're going to be good. Yeah, the team shouldn't feel lethargic. They're a young team. When the Spurs start hot, we win games. I feel that they are lax. Old Pop would get at them. We need Paul to pull rank and be stricter with them. Yeah, dude, as old as Pop is, there's not one first quarter I've seen him come in and not give 110% energy. But I'm trying my best to get used to the idea that we're not going to see Popovich on that sideline. I just don't think he'll be back. So I'm trying to get used to that.
the tape more, but how did it look?
It is tough right now to give you an opinion on schematics because it felt like a lot more or less than that. I don't know which would be the proper way to say it, but it was not a schematic issue.
Yeah.
Coach, how do you feel about Keldon Johnson's performance?
Oh, that was Carolina Teague.
I thought he showed a lot of fight at the end. I think he was competitive and tried to get us back into the game there, and obviously got rolling a little bit going to the rim. But again, the 4 30-point quarters, 68 points in the paint, second chance points, threes, they got it all. And we were all a part of that, staff and players, so we got to own that and give Chicago a lot of credit. They did a great job.
I like how you just went ahead and lumped Keldon Johnson in with the rest of everyone. Because, yeah, defensively, everyone was pretty awful. 140 points, that's pretty awful. And when everyone's that bad defensively, it's really hard to see how bad Keldon was defensively. But Keldon's always pretty bad defensively. But overall, yes, he had a good game. And I just think it's pretty sad when you get to the point where we're relying on Keldon. And it seemed like that was kind of his reaction too, right? That we had to rely on Keldon at the end. Like it was like, Keldon, save us. Look at his face here.
He got rolling a little bit going to the rim. But again, the 4 30-point quarters.
Oh, sorry.
6 competitive and fight at the end.
Johnson's performance.
I thought he showed a lot of fight at the end. I think he
He's
was
just like, this is like,
competitive and try to get us back into the game there, and obviously got rolling a little bit going to the rim. But again, the 4 30-point quarters, 68 points in the paint.
Bucko, I think that's how you say it. Bucko said this game showed everything that is wrong with Keldon Johnson and the reason he averaged 20 when the Spurs were at the worst, or at their worst. Elaborate on that a little bit. I'm trying to see what you mean by that. I do agree with you that when he averaged a great amount of points, I mean, we had a really poor team. And it was a lot of like, let's just rely on Keldon. Is that what you mean?
Second chance points, threes, they got it all. And we were all a part of that, staff and players. So we got to own that and give Chicago a lot of credit. They did a great job.
Our Spurs are consistently inconsistent. These last couple games felt different. I mean, they were really bad, dude. These last couple were really bad.
Wemby's probably going to be questionable tomorrow, but is there anybody else that you're going to look to protect on the second night of a back-to-back?
Yeah, early to say, but obviously Devin is still in that conversation just out of our approach.
Oh my God. We're so done. We're so cooked. If we have to sit Devin and Wemby, I mean, we can win. Obviously, we can win. But man, why can't we just have a consistent roster?
You guys have been putting up as well tonight attempts. Was that just because they were taking them away from you guys, or just because it was easier to drive on them? Or?
Have to look at the tape, but I would guess part of it also is we were on our heels a lot. So we weren't getting out in transition. We weren't getting in the open court and getting some easy ones.
And Nikola Vucevic, I know was probably...
OMG Bucko says, okay, he was elaborating on it. He's a chat chucking ball hog that only scores when he's tunnel visioned. It only works 1 out of every 10 games. I wouldn't be as harsh because I don't think that Keldon Johnson... I don't think he tries to be a ball hog. I think that he is actually... When he sees one person under the paint, I think he thinks this is... Because usually he can. I can go one-on-one. Oh, shot chucking. Okay. I can go one-on-one and take it. And that's our best possible option. But honestly, I'll be real with you. Last week or so, probably just last week, I thought he's done a pretty good job of not necessarily having that crazy amount of tunnel vision. But this was one of those games where that he was all we had offensively, honestly. That's not me saying not 1 assist today. No, I get you. I got you. Today was a weird one. I just can't get angry with them in this game or the last maybe couple games, honestly. I don't know. I feel like the last week he's made an effort to pass the ball a little bit more. This game, it just was like the whole team was like Keldon attack. Like they were drawing up ISO plays for him, man.
It's going to be a little bit of a concern coming in without Victor, but how did you feel about what happened there? Because he almost scored like 40.
Yeah.
Miguel's completely right. Keldon's the only one finishing tough shots around the rim. Yeah, I think that's why I'm being a little bit more charitable, at least for right now. I mean, obviously, my overarching thoughts on Keldon's situation hasn't changed. But I think these last couple games where you can't find a basket around the rim, and that's an essential part of winning these games. And that last game against the Suns where Wemby just completely went away from going to the rim after the third quarter, it's just like, well, yeah, like Keldon and Sochan are kind of the only ones that's finishing. I don't know.
He made shots. Very good player. Whether we could have maybe changed some defenses up or we're probably always connected on some communication and things that were in place, and he made us pay.
All right. There we are there. All right. Really quick. Big shout out to BetUS for sponsoring this segment. If you guys are interested at all, head on over to BetUS. Use promo code YouTube150. You'll receive 150% bonus on your first deposit, 125% bonus on your second and third deposit, up to $2,000. And we have here, obviously, Cooper Flag, which hopefully the San Antonio Spurs can get him. I think we have like a 0.5 chance of that happening. Just kidding. We should have 2 lottery picks, hopefully, if the Hawks don't make the playoffs. And if the Spurs, we probably won't. Not that I'm sitting here wishing for it, or obviously I'm cheering for us to win. I mean, that's why I'm so upset when we've been losing the last couple games. But, the Spurs could very well end up with a decent pick, because I personally don't think that they'll make the playoffs, and maybe not even the play-in, right? I say 44 wins, 46 is the play-in. So, or at least last year, 46 put you in the play-in in the West. But overall, if you guys want to bet on Cooper Flag winning the 24-25 Wooden Award, you just head on over to BetUS, go to basketball over here, and you can go to NCAA specials. And let's see. Just say 25. Nothing too crazy. 25 will get you 100. 100 right there. So if you guys are interested, please go check out BetUS. All right, let's go ahead and dive into Jeremy Sochan. It's been a while since we've seen him.
Were you surprised by that assignment tonight, or did you know about it at shoot-around?
I knew about it in shoot-around. It's unfortunate not having our big guy there, but I'm gonna be ready for anything. Control what I can control, and
You starting to feel like yourself pretty quickly?
Yeah, I'm getting there. It's still, there's moments where I get a little gassed, but I'm getting there. I played, luckily I played 35 minutes, so it's been good.
Guys, Jeremy Sochan is so good. He said he's been gassed. He said he's been gassed the last couple games. 36 minutes, 16 points, 14 rebounds, and then constantly guarding the opposing team's best player. And you've been gassed? That's stupid impressive. I don't care what anyone says. That is stupid impressive. And earlier this season, he was putting up quite a few minutes. I think a lot of these games, he was getting the most minutes. Or he was up there. I might be wrong. He was up there. We don't have to check on that. It's irrelevant.
Feeling good.
Do you feel like more of an offensive priority and offensive weapon this year than you have in years past in terms of being a focal point of trying to get your shots, that type of thing?
Yeah, I mean, it's not really, me, focusing on getting shots. I think it's just, being active, and it's about us, finding advantages. And, one thing that's, being good for me is, playing fast, with Chris Paul or any of the other guards, playing with the step-ups, and just, being myself. And that's just being aggressive and trying to find others, find, opportunities for myself.
You see that? Finding advantages. That actually sums up his entire game, right? He doesn't go in upset that you're not ISOing with him, or he's not taking dumb shots or anything like that. He's finding the openings and getting, because that starts to add up, right? He's finding those openings where we can score, and he does it in an aggressive way, right? If that's around the rim, that's what he's comfortable with at his position and just what he's always been comfortable with. That's how he tries to impact the game. Whatever you'll give us, I'm going to take advantage of it. I'm going to exploit it. That's yeah. So the people that said that he was not ball hogging, what was the word? They said that he was stat padding. That's crazy. There was actually a substantial amount of people saying that.
How did you feel about Nicola's? He seemed to be able to get whatever he wanted tonight.
Yeah, he had a game, 39 points. Dasumi too. We need to respect them more. We got to focus more on defensive side. We just let them, score way too much.
Mitch mentioned the slow start.
We got to respect them more. Good job. I like that.
kind of
Yeah.
goes into that for you guys as a team? How do you sort of snap out of it?
You know, I think it's everything we do. You know, preparation. You know, shoot around. You know, even before that, our sleep. You know, just everything. You know, and you know, we go focus more, and just really looking on you know what we have to do to win. And again, defense is one thing, and you know they scored 139 points. That's way too much. So, yeah.
Were you surprised to see him get his first technical during that third?
You know, it's emotion. We all have emotion. You know, we're all human at the end of the day, and you know, it's tough. It's tough.
You love to see it. That is true. 139 is ridiculous. He might have mentioned that like 3 times. So it seems like he was very upset by that. All right. I think it's good to end it off with Devin Vassell, because Devin Vassell's always so optimistic, and he's always great to hear. So let's listen.
Devin, how have you been handling kind of the on again, off again, you know, struggles that come with trying to work your way back into game shape?
I'm just happy to be playing. I'm glad to be playing. I wish we should have won this game today. We came out flat, started off early from our shoot around, and we just got to be better. We're not a team that can just come into a game and be messing around and think that we're just going to win a game. So we got to respect all our opponents and play better.
Oh, there it is again. I wonder if this is one of those coach down to players type situation, right? Respect your opponent. They're probably just mimicking the coach, which is good. That's a good thing.
Big comebacks that you've had in recent games where you have started slow and overcome it, is that, like you said, you taken that for granted almost in some of these first quarters?
I don't want to say taken for granted. I think we always feel like we have a chance to come back and compete and win a game. But we don't need to keep putting ourselves in that position. It's tough. We keep trying to climb back in the first half, trying to climb back in the third quarter, trying to climb back in the fourth quarter. Like, it's tough. It's tiring. Yeah, we just can't keep doing that.
Did Mitch have any kind of message?
Hey Clan, Sochan is true Spurs player. He is not selfish. He puts the team first, always looks to improve, and his morale is always high. That is all true. Hold on one more time. Respect the game, Greg Popovich. True. Hold on, I want to listen to this segment again.
Trying to climb back in the third. I want to say
Like you said, you've taken that for granted almost in some of these first quarters?
I don't want to say taken for granted. I think we always feel like we have a chance to come back and compete and win a game.
See that? That is taking it for granted. It's okay. It's probably just the wording that he doesn't like. But yeah, that's taking it for granted. It's taking it for granted. The first quarter, you're taking it for granted because you just said we don't take it for granted, but we do think that we can, come back. That's just taking it for granted. Probably just don't like the wording.
Like you said, you've taken that for granted almost in some of these first quarters?
I don't want to say taken for granted. I think we always feel like we have a chance to come back and compete and win a game. But we don't need to keep putting ourselves in that position. It's tough. We keep trying to climb back in the first half, trying to climb back in the third quarter, trying to climb back in the fourth quarter. Like, it's tough. It's tiring. Yeah, we just can't keep doing that.
Did Mitch have any kind of...
It's crazy because I said you can't do it against a good team. I didn't say you couldn't do it against the Bulls. So that shows you how bad this game was.
At halftime, anything in particular?
Play defense. that was the biggest thing. I mean, I don't know how many points they had at halftime. 70-something, which was on pace to score almost like 150 points. So play some defense, rebound, and have some pride.
They were on pace to hit as many as they did. They had 140. They had about 70 at the half. Yeah, they were on pace to just do what they were doing. And they did it. I don't know.
They were just driving against us. Vooch was doing whatever he wanted to. We didn't play how we normally play, and that's the disappointing part of it.
Is that the angriest you've seen Mitch this year?
I mean, probably. He gets upset about certain stuff, but he shouldn't.
What?
I mean, probably. The disappointing part of it.
Is that the angriest you've seen Mitch this year?
Probably. He gets upset about certain stuff, but he shouldn't be the only one getting upset. We shouldn't just, we shouldn't be comfortable with letting teams come in here and just do whatever they want to do. and that's what they did tonight.
You said that
I do like. I'll be honest with you guys. All right. Oh gosh, I need some water. Oh, I'm dying. I do like the somberness. Sorry, I'm going to talk like Doc Rivers for the rest of this, or Mitch Johnson. Take your pick. I do like the somberness of Devin Vassell and Jeremy Sochan. Get some water. No, we're in the middle of a segment. Okay, I can't do that. All right, I'd rather die on stream than go get water. But this somberness is a good thing. The fact that they seem down, but it doesn't sound like a defeatist down. It seems more like we're better than this. We're just gonna let them walk over us. That's soft. What are we doing? You know, we got to take this game more serious. Like, I like that. It doesn't sound like pointing the finger. It's just an overall, what are we doing, you know? But like I said before, it's a really bad look when you have to rely on Keldon Johnson at the end of game. You should never have to, ever. He did good, but on offense, but never have to rely on him.
didn't play the way he normally played. What do you think contributed to that?
Who?
Didn't play the way he.
Hold on, I missed what Carolina
And that's what
said.
they did tonight.
You said that you didn't play the way he normally played. What do you think contributed to that?
Who? Or you? Maybe she just meant the team. I guess she just meant the team in general. He does not want to answer this question.
Slow start. We didn't make shots. And then us not making shots had them in transition. And we weren't matching up in transition. They were getting downhill. They were getting to the lane. They were getting threes. So it was just a whole trickle-down effect, truthfully.
There weren't as many three-point attempts tonight either, by far. And was that just because they were taking them away from you, or easier to cut, or what do you think that was?
I think they just had us on our heels a little bit too much. I think we were never really the aggressors, so we weren't aggressive, trying to get to the paint, trying to kick out, trying to find people. They kind of just they played a good game. I'll give credit when credit's due. They played a good game, but we just got to be better.
You know yet what the plan is?
He seemed irritated. Muhammad, why not? If someone has the high hand, why not keep doing it? What are we talking about? You talking about what I said about Keldon? I'm just saying you should never get to the point where you have to depend on Keldon Johnson to win you a game. Like that shouldn't happen. Keldon is at his best, and the team is at his best when he can play a complementary role as a role player. But when Keldon Johnson, because it's just not winning. It's just not winning basketball the way that he plays. But if you put him in the right position, you're totally fine. I'm just saying you don't have to. You feed the high hand, I get it, but you shouldn't have to ever rely solely on Keldon. It got to the point where they were just isoing for Keldon, and everyone else was just like, okay, save us. You should never be in a position where Keldon has to save you. Yeah. Giving us a spark is a different thing than solely relying on him to win us the game. You saw what this team looks like when you have to solely rely on Keldon.
For tomorrow, is the training staff said anything about the back-to-back?
I'll let them have that. I don't want to say what they say, but we'll see. I want to play.
I missed it.
Them. When credit due, they played a good game, but we just got to be better.
You know yet what the plan is for you tomorrow? Is the training staff said anything about the back-to-back?
I'll let them have that. I don't want to say what they say, but we'll see. I want to play. I'll tell you that. I want to play every game.
Oh. God, that sounds like he ain't gonna play. So you're saying we should throw a losing game away if nobody steps up? No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying you should never be in a position where Keldon has to save the day. That's all I'm saying. I understood it, but that's sad. It shouldn't have got to that point. Someone else should have been able to step up in this game. You should never have to sit back and say, Keldon, save us. It's ugly basketball. It's not. Maybe you'll get a win here or there, but you can't get used to doing that at all. You shouldn't. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that I have a big brain counter to that. It's not that. I mean, I watched the game too. That's all they had. That should not be okay. As soon as that's all you have like a 5% chance of winning that game. This is not going to work. Someone else should have been able to step up as well. You should be able to hit more shots in the paint. Devin definitely should have taken 25 shots. That's what I'm saying. Devin took 15. I know that he always plays, the right way, but sometimes the right way is... I'm way more comfortable with Devin Vassell's shot selection than Keldon. Agree to disagree then? I just don't know what you're disagreeing on me with. You shouldn't be in a position where Keldon Johnson has to save you. And I agree with you that in this game, that's all they had. So yeah, they just relied on Keldon Johnson. Castle, go to Castle. It was just one of those games where it was like, I don't know, man. I think Devin should have shot a lot. He should have really tried his best to take over to some extent in the duration of this game. But they got to the point in the fourth where it's just, I mean, the Bulls had so much momentum and the defense was so poor, and the morale was so low till, yeah, Keldon Johnson, someone who goes 150% all the time. Yeah, it was just like, okay, you save us. It just shouldn't be that way. Saying we shouldn't get down bad enough to rely on Keldon isn't saying we should give up. Exactly. That's not what I'm saying. That's not me saying like, oh, now we have to rely on Keldon. Let's just wave the white flag. That's just me saying we have to rely on Keldon. This isn't a good habit to have. You shouldn't be in that situation. Clan, you are right. If we have to depend on Keldon to win games, then we have already lost the game. Like I said, Keldon is great for a spark, and he did that for this game. In the last, we need nasty. Yeah, like him being a spark is what we need. But you can't have him being a continuous flame throughout the game. That will be for Devin Vassell to do. Because Devin is the type of player where he can have a poor game and at any given moment turn it on, great shot selection, hitting multiple threes and win it. And he could do that, I think, when he being aggressive. I think Devin Vassell could do that consistently over and over and over again. If we get into a habit of relying on Keldon Johnson, it's going to be consistently inconsistent. Because depending on what team you're going, because he's going to do the same thing. He's going to do the same thing regardless of who he's going against. Whereas Devin Vassell, I think that he really does take what you give him. He has a few go-to moves, but he's going to take what you give him. But Keldon's just not like that. It doesn't matter what you're giving him on that defensive end. He's going to do the same thing over and over, and that's going to make it inconsistent depending on who you're going against. It's very reliant on referees. It's very reliant on matchups, and he just doesn't change, that much. Downhill. Where Devin, he's going to make you work a little bit more, right? He's going to be a little bit more frustrating. He's going to bring a little bit more gravity, I think. Collins was non-existent. Collins was so bad. Sochan was getting his groove back. Yeah, Sochan's been fine, in my opinion. CP3 was off. Yes, he was. HB was off. Yes, he was. No Wemby. That is true. And our other guys were off frequency. They were all bad. 139 points given up was the most in the entire NBA this season. Is that true? Oh, is that true? Honestly, should Julian start at small forward over Barnes? I'm definitely leaning towards Barnes coming off the bench. I think that'd be fine. Throw in Vassell back in that starting lineup, but you can also have Vassell come off the bench if you want. I just want the Spurs to have whatever lineup out there that can set the tone early, and we're good. Because we already proven, I think the Spurs are pretty confident that yes, as the game goes on, they can do whatever, they can come back. But yeah, just today, Vassell. Do I always say it wrong? Vassell. Honestly, though, the calls were off. Yeah. In that case, Keldon needs to start and bring spark. No. Keldon is really bad defensively, so I don't want when I mean set the tone, I mean on both ends of the court. I don't want their opposing team to get hot. I truly do think Keldon's perfect, coming off the bench and when he plays. I have not had complaints about Keldon, by the way. I'm just saying, this game was pretty bad. You don't want that. And then when the refs finally call something, it's a barely foul that gets overturned. Start Vassell, send Castle back to the bench and give him reps at point guard. Yeah. Or you can just start Castle. I mean, you can start Chris Paul, Castle. Well, Chris Paul, Vassell, Castle is small forward because Castle just has that utility. And Sochan and then Wemby. I think that's a great starting lineup. Continue to play Castle as Chris Paul goes to the bench. And then as some of our other bench guys come in, put Chris Paul back in maybe. I don't know. I want to see more Mamu. Everyone wants to see more Mamu. All right, end of segment. Only counts as one loss. End of segment.